As the dog days of summer end, Californians take advantage of the remaining warm, sunny days to enjoy the Sacramento River. Today, they share it with oil spill responders. After some class time, responders head to the field to try their hands at response techniques, starting with cofferdams.
You know, a lot of the streams and tributary streams out in the mountains, East Kentucky, are something similar to this. And you can construct an underflow dam and stop quite a bit of oil. One thing like on this right now, if you had a tanker overturn upstream, you may not even need to put in an underflow dam. There's no flow in here. You just get some dirt, fill up this cut through here so you block the fuel back. If there's one thing that's the most effective thing in stopping the spill in a small stream, this is it.
A piece of plywood becomes a simple but effective tool during an oil spill.
All you got to do is going to put it in front of the culvert. And to start out, you go all the way down the bottom. Once I get it in place, tie it off someplace. Another thing you can do is also go in the front of it. Put a T-post that way.
US EPA instructors show how a little resourcefulness goes a long way in protecting the environment. Using plastic mesh and straw, they quickly create a filter dam in the field.
So we're going to have to go all the way down right now, as narrow as it is. So we are. Okay, at this time, I would do another one and put on top of it to give my brace up here. If it's coming down through here, it's going to push this against the side. If we had water flowing, you would see the product staying at the bottom, and then it would start rising on up. The water would be filtering through it, and the oil would be staying back. I would never make one. Once I got through with this one, I'd go right there and make another. I'd go on down and make another. I'd go on down and make another one, because you're filtering at every spot, holding the oil back.
Back at the Sacramento River, as onlookers enjoy the water, responders stage equipment to practice deploying boom. Fred Stroud, instructor for the US EPA, explains the goals for the class.
Well, the purpose of this training is to try to teach the first responders and the state on-scene coordinators how to deal with that spill in the early stages to prevent it from spreading any farther.
They start with a T-post used to create an anchor. For environmental scientist Dave Price, with the Office of Spill Prevention and Response, the training offers the team's hands-on experience.
It's very good. It's a very practical experience for doing more inland spills. Typically we see on the marine side, we're dealing a lot with bays and inlets, you know, lots of tides and currents. And here, out in the rivers and stuff, we've got the currents too. And, but it's very good to go over the techniques and stuff for doing swift water boom. We'll see a lot more of that in spills.
Deploying boom takes teamwork, and several agencies work together to assemble and deploy 300 feet of boom on the Sacramento River. Once assembled and attached to a vessel, deployment begins. Safety training includes boat operations and avoiding tangling rope in props. Dennis DeAnda explains the importance of knowing safety.
The Office of Spill Prevention Response and its Warden Corps are generally the state on-scene coordinators, and as the state on-scene coordinators, it's our responsibility to make sure that people are operating safely and appropriately within those zones. So it gives our state on-scene coordinators, our biologists, and our oil spill prevention specialists basic understanding of how basic techniques should be used.
After the boom is deployed, a team sets up a skimmer and tests it by pumping water up the hill. Another team lays out a storage bladder.
It's easy to transfer from one location to another. If you have material that you're bringing in from a stream or a river and you need somewhere to store it for a short time before you can bring a back truck in.
Spill Prevention and Response Administrator Tom Cullen watches his team in action.
This just underscores the benefit of preparedness, the time to actually practice putting out boom is not when an incident happens. It's doing this kind of interagency, cooperative exercises like this. We have Coast Guard along with our folks from Sacramento Fire, EPA that are out here.
For Cullen and his agency, The training means better protection of California's natural resources for the fish, wildlife, and people who enjoy them. To see more spill prevention and response activities, follow us on Facebook at Cal Spill Watch.